Hello guys, welcome to the Common Sense Football Show and welcome to today's show. It's going to be an emotional show today. Arsenal losing 4-1 to Manchester City in a crunch, perhaps vital title deciding game. Arsenal still on top of the league with 2 points. City do have 2 games in hand, so this is going to go all the way down to the wire. We also had a couple more games which included Nottingham Forest versus Brighton. Good win for Nottingham Forest, edging them closer to safety. Down there at the bottom, it's looking very tight. We also had Chelsea versus Brentford. Chelsea losing again 2-0 to Brentford. Pathetic, it's in tatters, but at least Chelsea know the direction they want to go in. It looks like the Pochettino appointment is imminent, but I think according to reports, Lampard will stay in charge until the end of the season. So let's see what happens over there at Chelsea. And I think there was one more game, and that was West Ham and Liverpool. Vital win in the capital by Liverpool away from home. Liverpool still believe they can get into the top 4, so it's gonna be interesting to see, and it's looking very exciting for those top 4 places. So let's focus on the main match, which was Manchester City versus Arsenal. Title deciding affair, potentially. Now, I had a little bit of optimism going into the game. I wanted to believe that Arsenal could win the game. You have to, as a supporter, you have to try and have optimism and be positive. I would have liked to see something different from the gaffer. I was calling out for a Jorginho and Thomas Partey double pivot. He didn't do that. He went back to the Xhaka and Partey with Odegaard, the 3 in midfield. I don't understand why. That midfield is tried and tested and it doesn't do so well against Manchester City. So I just don't know why you would keep trying the same thing. Why not try something different? I only saw from playing Jorginho with Thomas Partey, I only saw positives. Partey is a great ball player along with Jorginho, but Partey also has the legs to get up and down the pitch and to make sure Jorginho doesn't get overrun if the ball's in transition. I don't understand why the gaffer, Mikel Arteta, wouldn't try and emulate what made Chelsea so successful for the last 4 or 5 years. That double pivot with Jorginho and Kante, always doing well against City, Champions League final most notably, and beating us in a 2019 Europa League final in Baku. We couldn't cope with that double pivot and that midfield dynamism. So, I thought from my limited football knowledge that trying that would have been, why not? It's something different. Listen, football isn't rocket science. It's not, it's not sending men to the moon. This is just 11 versus 11, kicking the ball. It isn't rocket science. And I believe the true genius of football is simplifying it. The true genius of football is simplicity. Don't try and overcomplicate things. So, that was my thing. I was really eager to see how a Jorginho, Thomas Partey double pivot would have worked with Odegaard sitting in front of them. But we didn't get to see that. And we just saw the same 3 in midfield and we got the same result. Kevin De Bruyne putting on a masterclass, 2 goals. He got an early goal just inside 8 minutes. To be honest, Arsenal looked toothless. They looked like there was no belief there. There was no belief. You would have thought Arsenal went for it like they did at Anfield. They went for it hard. I would have thought they would have tried to emulate that same sort of tempo, but they had no belief whatsoever. And it shows why Arsenal have struggled at the Etihad in recent years. They just don't win there or get any sort of result at the Etihad. It must be something mental there. William Saliba's a big miss. Rob Holding again was exposed. Haaland getting a goal in stoppage time and John Stones also scoring sort of 45 minutes into the game. Pep Guardiola, what he's done with John Stones. I mean, I knew that John Stones was a good footballer. Technically, he's very good, very sound footballer. But what he's done, putting John Stones into that sort of inverted midfield role, where he goes into midfield when City have the ball and he drops back into defence where they haven't got the ball. Genius. John Stones looks reborn. And, he's really showing his quality in this role. It looks like he really enjoys this role. Arteta looked void of ideas. He didn't want to try anything different. And when the pressure was on, I believe he took too long to make substitutions. The same team came out in the second half. Why? You're 2-0 down. Why not try and chuck the kitchen sink at it? And it's not like that team wasn't doing anything anyway in the first half. It looked void of any sort of ideas. Eventually, the gaffer making changes, but by that point, the game is gone. City in firm control and asserting their dominance over Arsenal, and it looks like asserting their dominance over this Premier League title race. They do look now to be favourites. So, where do I think the title's going to go from here? I've not given up complete hope. I still think, obviously, Arsenal are in with a chance. Mathematically, they are not out of it, but it's no longer in their hands. Arsenal will need to pretty much go on a run towards the end of the season, winning realistically the rest of their games and hoping that City have a blip. The only hope Arsenal have is that City are involved in 3 competitions, an FA Cup final and a massive 2-leg semi-final in the Champions League against Real Madrid. Maybe they'll take their eyes off the ball. Maybe they'll have injuries and stuff like this that might, see them drop some points in the Premier League. That has yet to be seen. We're going to have to see what happens. I was very disappointed with Arsenal's performance. City were brilliant as usual, blowing us away. But, it didn't look like there was any belief. It didn't look like there was any sort of new ideas. All of our big players didn't turn up. Gabriel Jesus was quiet, Saka was quiet, Martinelli was quiet. Some of the subs, Trossard coming on, took too long to come on, Jorginho coming on. By that time, the game's gone. We did get a consolation goal, but it is what it was. The game was gone by that point, and Saliba has been a massive miss. So the banter has started from some of my friends and acquaintances that support opposition teams. And you know what? I can give banter, I can take banter. It's just banter. I'm not really fussed. I love my football club. I will always love Arsenal, so it doesn't really matter. It is what it is. I still hold faith that we could win the league, although we're going to need certain things to go in our favour. But we're back in the Champions League for certain, and the hierarchy at Arsenal, listen, the gap is obvious. We're not on City's level. We've got a long way to go before we get to City's level. How Edu and Arteta are going to try and close that gap, I don't know. We haven't got the finances City have got, so we're going to need to maybe sell players to accumulate funds to buy players that we need. For Arsenal next season, I think we're a Europa League team that's in the Champions League. We're not a Champions League team yet. We don't have the quality. We don't have the squad depth. In order for Arsenal to be a Champions League team, there's going to need to be heavy investment. We need a striker, without doubt. We need a midfielder, without doubt. We need a right back, without doubt. I believe that if we get a right back, Ben White can go back into his preferred position, centre back, and be the cover to Saliba, or battle out for Saliba for the right-sided centre-back spot. If we sell Tierney, we need a left-back. So we need at least 4 players, a right-back, a centre midfielder, a striker, and another forward, probably on the right, to make us competitive in the Premier League and in the Champions League, because we shouldn't be going there to make up numbers. Now, the striking position is a key position. Even though the goals have been shared out amongst the team, I believe, as City have shown, you need a killer up front. A proper, hungry striker who just wants to score and do whatever it takes to score. Like a Diego Costa, like a Aguero, like a Suarez. Just want to score. Like a Haaland. Who that is, I think the only striker that we should be going in for is Victor Osimhen. It looks like Lukaku's going to go back to Chelsea. We don't know where Lukaku's future is. Will Pochettino give Lukaku a chance, or will Chelsea try and sign Kane? We know Manchester United have already started courting Kane and his representatives for that potential move. We should try and sign Arsenal Victor Osimhen as soon as possible. He's quick, he's strong, he's intelligent, he can link up play, he's young, he can improve, he's a goal machine, he's a big game player. Now listen, too many of these Arsenal man, they're gassed up. They're gassed up by the Arsenal fans. They're putting pedestals there they shouldn't be at. You know what I mean? Listen, they are. That's just the reality. And Arsenal fans are known for gassing up players when they're not that. And they've done it again with a lot of these players. Saka, he ain't nothing special. He's a good player, overrated, he ain't nothing special. Martinelli, he's a good player with a decent ceiling, but he's not going to be a world beater, right? We need a couple of world beaters in this team. In order for us to reach the next level, to compete, because the other teams are going to come back. Man United are going to come back, Newcastle are going to be there, Chelsea, possibly Pochettino are going to come back, Liverpool are going to come back. So in order for us to be competitive, it's going to be harder next season. So we need killers. We need proper killers next season that are at that level. Victor Osimhen is one of them. Caicedo would be one of them. But I want to focus on striking position, because a guy that can get you 20, 25, 30 goals in the Premier League season by himself would be phenomenal for Arsenal, and Victor Osimhen should be the obvious target. Now, can Arsenal? I don't know the budget Arsenal are going to have this summer transfer window. We're not going to have the massive amount of funds that a City or Newcastle will have. So, have they got funds, on certain positions? I don't know. If somehow they can sell players to get Victor Osimhen, but he needs to be, I'll be shocked if he's not in conversation with the Arsenal hierarchy if he's available to be bought, because this boy is an absolute monster and he's the sort of striker that Arsenal need. Even if you get rid of one of the forwards to get him in, it would need to be done. This is business. Forget about sentiment. Forget about gassing man up. This is business. Football business. And a winning team, you got to be ruthless, you got to be smart, and you just got to be real. There ain't a lot of world-class players in the Arsenal team. I don't even think there is any, to be honest with you. I'm an Arsenal fan, and I'm a real one. I don't think there's any world-class players in the Arsenal team. I don't. Maybe you can make an argument for Thomas Partey in a defensive midfield position. He might be one of the world-class DMs in that position, but he ain't at the top. So if Arsenal really want to kick on, they need one or two world-class players to put the cherry on the top of the good players that are in that team. We shouldn't be gassing people up, gassing players up. Should be real and know that we're not at the level that we should be at. And some of these players are not at the level that some fans think they are. And we need to get players that are off that level. It will be hard, but if Arsenal want to be ambitious, that's what they need to do. So I'm not on this gassing up thing. I'm a realist. But I really want Victor Osimhen. I really want Victor Osimhen in this team. How it happens, I don't know. Are the hierarchy even considering him as an option? I don't know. But I know for a fact, if we go into next season's Premier League with the same forward options, we ain't going to get close to the league. And we're pretty much going to do the same in the Champions League, which is get knocked out in the last 16 if we get out of the group. So as a realist, and with my common sense, I know that Arsenal need drastic improvements in the attacking positions, in midfield, and they need good cover in defence in order to progress from this season. Because we shouldn't be resting on our laurels. We shouldn't be happy with this season. Yeah, this season was good no matter how it turns out, but we need to progress and go to the next level and keep up pace with our rivals to challenge on all fronts. That's what I want. And Victor Osimhen would be key to that mission. We need a killer. Too many of these Arsenal players, as much as I appreciate the ride that they've brought us on and I appreciate their hard work, they don't turn up in the big games. This was the crunch part of the season, the last 9-8 games, and they have folded under the pressure. It's true. It's true. If you're a truly world-class player, you love these moments. You appreciate these moments. Age is not part of it. Wayne Rooney was doing this when he was 16, 17. Messi was doing this when he was 16, 17. R9, original Ronaldo, was doing this when he was 16, 17. Neymar was world class when he was a teenager. Age is of no significance to class. If you're class, you're class. Doesn't matter the age. So if you're a truly top player, you love these moments. You live for these moments. You play for these moments. This is what your career is about. You don't hide. You open up. You want it. You embrace it. You want it. And I don't see that with these players. I saw when the moment got tough, these players shrunk under the pressure. So this shows me they're not at the level. So we need players that are of the level that will raise these players to the next level and raise the whole squad and raise the whole team. That's what we need. And that's what I hope that the hierarchy and the gaffer are seeing. Because that's what I see. So, for the remainder of the season, I think there's about 5 games left. I've not lost all hope. Arsenal need to do their jobs, try and pick themselves up. Us as a fan base need to try and get behind the lads. But we also need to push the club to improve constructively. We also need to push the club to push to the next level. And the only way that happens is with smart investment, being ruthless, being realistic, and getting those players that are killers. Because now in football, you ain't going to win the top honours. Never in football where you win in the top honours without having these ruthless, hungry players. And that's what you need. These Arsenal team, they're too nice. They're too nice. You need the quality, but you need that winning temperament. That temperament that's on a win at all costs, that hunger, that insatiable hunger. You need that. You need that. You need that. That's how a team should be. A successful team. It's a reality. These man, as much as I love them, they're too nice. Henry said something similar, that top players ain't nice. These men are too nice. And I want to see Arsenal get to the next level, be competitive, and keep pace with our rivals, and challenge on all fronts, domestically and European. So, I'm going to be seeing how the rest of the season pans out. In terms of City, they've still got their eyes firmly on the treble. Real Madrid will be a stern test in the Champions League. Arsenal can still win the Premier League, and Manchester United will be a test in the FA Cup final. But City are on a mission. They are on a mission. Big game tonight, Spurs versus Manchester United. I anticipate Manchester United will win that game. Spurs are in absolute disarray. Unlike Chelsea, who are sort of in disarray, but they have a direction of where they're going, a manager they want to appoint. You know, they're going. It looks like they may be going in the right direction. Spurs, no one knows what's going on there. Nagelsmann would seem to be the favourite for that job, but no one knows what's going on with Spurs. So I anticipate Manchester United will beat Spurs this evening and take a step closer to that top 4. Alright guys, I will be back tomorrow for another show. I hope you enjoyed this one. Please, I want to hear your opinions. I want to hear your views. I want us to have discussion. I want us to have debate. I want us to educate one another. So please, please, please share your views, share your opinions with me so we can do that. Please smash the like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys for the next one. Peace.